What's up, guys? Here with you with podcast number 10 of FC Wonderkid. Here with my guy, Breton. How are you?
Doing great. I'm in a idyllic beach town in the old Jersey Shore. So coming to you from a different location, even though I never have quite the setup you got, Alex. You always look good, man.
Well, I'm flattered to know that. But I don't know if I look good because deep inside I'm really nervous.
Waking.
So just so our listeners can feel what's happening. It's Sunday. It's 6 o'clock here in Portugal, and in 2 hours, 1 hour after I finish this podcast, I'm gonna be watching the Belgium-Portugal match.
Oh
And
boy. Oh
woo,
boy. Oh
that's
boy.
it.
And what are you feeling? What are you feeling scoreline?
Look, if I told you that I knew who'd win it,
Yeah.
like I'd be lying. But it's a very unpredictable match. But me, as a Portuguese person, I need to go Portugal. Even
Yeah.
with Fernando Santos, I need a. He's like Mourinho and that 101 knockout situation.
Sure.
So he won the Nations League. He won us the Euros. So we're counting on you, Fernando Santos,
There you
to
go.
stop KDB and Lukaku.
Just hearing those two names together. Wow.
Yeah, we need Palhinha to start KDB, but that's yeah.
Yeah, well, let's hope Portugal's day goes better than the Dutch right now because they're still 0-0, but De Ligt is off the field and it's not looking good. But anyway, we have a lot to go through, and we
Mhm.
ran up against it the last time, and we are recording this on Saturday, or I'm sorry, on Sunday. We've missed a lot, and doing this only weekly, we're only going to really be able to touch on a little bit. So
True.
we're going to do that recency effect thing too, where we only talk about the games that just recently happened.
Mhm.
So I got to start, man. What do you think? Denmark? How you feel about that?
You called it. You said they were gonna end up in first, though. They
I
didn't.
I did, but come on, the Ericsson thing.
No, that
The
is true. That is
it
true.
just yeah, but hey,
But I want to say something about Denmark.
yeah,
Christensen,
yep.
Andreas Christensen of Chelsea,
Hmm.
fantastic center back. I rated him, okay, but I didn't rate him as much as I do now.
Sure.
He's cold. He's fast. He's a solid player. He's effective.
Yeah.
Like, I like him. I like him a lot. Dolberg,
Oh
FIFA
my goodness.
17, FIFA 18 legend, Wonder
Oh
Kid.
yeah.
Uh,
I mean,
back
listen.
in what?
5 years ago, he put 23 goals in
Yeah.
during that pretty amazing Ajax season, and he was one of those guys you thought that was going to be there with a De Jong. He was going to be there with a uh, Van de Beek. I
Hmm.
mean, and it didn't pan out that way. But listen to what this guy has gone through this year. He got COVID not once, but twice. Okay. He then,
Okay.
on top of that, had to have his appendix removed. And he is part of a Nice setup that unfortunately has not had the greatest of years, even though they have this wonderful collection of FIFA career mode talent, right? It's been great, yeah, to have Tadibo and
Saliba.
Saliba at center back, but it really hasn't worked out on paper that well.
Yeah.
But he comes in, and very clearly he should not have been part of the starting 11 at the beginning of the tournament. And Yusuf Poulsen is a very effective player.
Hmm.
I'm not going to say he's an amazing player, but
Hmm.
an injury puts him out, and this kid is thrown into a situation much like Mikkel Damsgaard was in the game previously, and he just comes up big. He comes
But
up two goals, man, 2 goals.
2 goals. But I'll tell you one thing. Before I even saw I watched the match in a pub, and when I was watching just the preview location, I saw it was in the Johan Cruyff Arena. And when I saw that lineup, I was thinking to myself, Dolberg might have a good game here.
There you go.
And yeah, he did a brace, and it wasn't just a brace. It was a quality goals. Even celebrations. Dolberg was cold,
Yeah.
so I feel like this is really important for him. And he did even get his watch stolen in Nice. Like there was an
What?
incident. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was like an expensive watch. A teammate stole it. So a lot happened there, and maybe
You know
he
what?
needs a
You know
move.
what? Hold on. I visited Nice too. I visited Nice too, and guess what? I
You
had
got
my
it.
wallet stolen there. It's like
What?
they're like pickpocket central, I guess. But it was Goldberg picking the pocket, I guess you could say, of Wales team that was asleep at the
Yeah.
wheel. And what the heck was happening? Is Gareth Bale golfing? What?
Well, there was a moment that I think there was a goal that Bale even thought the ball was gonna go in. I don't know if you saw the match. There was a shot that glazed the post,
Okay.
and you could see Bale's face. Like it was that one. It was that moment. And since then, Denmark was just solid. They're a really good unit. You were right. I have to give it to you. You were right about the Danish.
It wasn't that crazy of a, and yeah, you're right. I put them first ahead of Belgium. I thought there was going to be some sort of De Bruyne effect with the injury early on.
Hmm.
It didn't happen. But really, it comes down to the fact that we're all sitting here talking about the Danish team as if they're like ranked 44th, 50th, whatever. I
Yeah.
know these rankings mean nothing, but they came into this ranked 10th in the world, right? No,
Yeah.
that's 10th in the world with Christian Eriksen on the field.
Yeah.
But ultimately, they got massive performances, much like Wales did last Euros. And
You love it.
they have
You
a
love it.
decent route to the final if they can continue to play as a cohesive team.
Well,
So
Delete is getting those moments that you told me just now. He's off, right? So
yeah, and
Delite's off. The Danish must be happy because he's one heck of a player.
he is in
Uh,
the Czechs will
but
score.
but another player that's having an unbelievable tournament. I really want to mention him too
Yeah,
because Spinazzola.
yeah, I mean,
Spinazzola, second man of the match award, and he's flying on the left. He is flying on the left. Best left back in the Euros right now. Yes, he's better than Nunminch because Fernand Sanch hasn't gone bold still. So I'll give it to Spinazzola.
yeah. And
But no, he's been balling. Like what a player. What a player.
absolutely, and he's one just like Christensen for you. He's one for me that I didn't
Yeah.
really understand early. Just seeing several Serie A games, and it's just amazing how perfect he fits into that
Yeah.
setup there. But you also gotta say Marco Verratti. Just
Mm.
we now know who the odd man out in that phenomenal midfield of Jorginho, Locatelli, Barella, and Verratti having to come back. One of them has to sit. Locatelli sits, which makes sense even
Yeah.
after the goals he scored. But Verratti, man, I mean, nine. I think he's got what 9 chances in only like 135 minutes played this year or
Yeah.
this tournament, which is just absolutely unbelievable. And that was not really a walk in the park to beat Austria.
True.
So
True.
it
And
took a
Chiesa.
cohesive group. And Chiesa, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, that
Oh
goal.
yeah. I was very, very excited to see Chiesa having that moment because this is my preview. I think next season for Juventus he's going to be crucial. So him going in the right foot next season is going to be important.
Yeah,
Uh,
that rebuild is one we're all pretty excited to watch for sure.
we
And
might
Chiesa, he'll be a
yeah.
big part. Big part.
For sure, for sure. We might do a video or two, like a Juve rebuild or an Inter rebuild. I think especially now Inter with a new coach and Juve too, Allegri back. It's exciting times. But another thing I wanted to mention about the Euros is Lukaku. Lukaku
Okay.
said had the need to say, and this actually puts me sad because I rate Lukaku extremely high. Okay, and seeing him on the bench talking to Henry, listening to him, mentoring him, saying you should do this, this, this. Like honestly, I thought Lukaku now has little to no weakness, strength, finishing, positioning, awareness, communication, passing. He's got it all, and he should be rated in the. He shouldn't even say that I should be rated in the same as in the same level as Kane,
Yeah.
Aguero, all these big strikers like Haaland. You put Lukaku there too. in my opinion, like
I,
100%.
I'd absolutely have to agree, and I
Yeah,
think it really all comes down to that move to Inter. You
yeah,
know, I think that was a big, big, big moment in his career, and after a little transition period, he has done nothing but, I mean, pretty much dominate the scoring charts over there. So to see him put it all together now, hey, they've got a couple more shots at bringing Belgium's golden generation to a successful close, unless they, spring up another one. But he's going to be pretty tough to handle
mm.
today.
You want to
You
do the
think,
previews with that
well,
one?
I have just one or two more comments, and I promise it won't take too long.
Okay.
But we got to just give Luka Modric the credit he deserves. Come on, he in Croatian footballing history, he is not only the youngest person ever to play at a major Euro tournament,
Okay.
he is now the oldest, and that goal was just sick. That goal
Yes.
was just amazing. And I cannot, I mean, my mouth is watering just thinking about Spain, Croatia. And that just is a tough, tough side of the bracket.
It's a
But yeah,
very
Luka
good game.
Modric, man, come on. That guy, you want to call somebody an eternal wonder kid, a la Jesse Lingard? He just is awesome.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing I got to say is, hey, Lewandowski did absolutely everything he could to try and get Poland into that into the
It's not
knockout
too
stage.
much.
And I'll tell you, I mean, I was harsh on Poland in the group stages. I didn't necessarily want to be right in any way, shape, or form, but it just really sucked seeing him out on an island most of the time. And unfortunately, that deficit uh, against Sweden was a little bit too much to overcome. And then you have what, the 94th minute, 95th minute dagger. What was that? Kulusevski to who scored the winner?
He got that assist Kulusevski, which was
Yeah.
really good. Like it
Well,
was like Sweden is another team. It's the Danish and
yeah.
Sweden. Like they've impressed me, and I'm gonna mention it again. We mention this every podcast, but he deserves it.
He
Isaac is stepping up in the boots of Ibrahimovic. Very good to see a player like Fosberg helping Isaac. The Kulusevski with the assists. Okay, like a solid team is building. I really like Sweden. I like it a lot. I
And the
like that
funny
team.
thing is we all talk about when we talk about Scandinavian countries, we're all thinking about the future of Norway, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Holland and
What?
Odegaard
Yeah.
and
Sandefjord.
Berga.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many solid players, and then you realize it's actually happening all across up there.
True.
So there'll be a lot of fun to watch. But I just had to say, Lewandowski did everything he could against them.
Yeah.
They just I don't know what it is.
As you should.
Poland,
Like Lewandowski. Like he want. I told you. Lewandowski wants to make a statement by just going through.
yeah,
Just going through. He just needed that. Because Poland, they don't help him. You said it. He was on an island.
he was on an
So
island. Tough.
if he was not on an island, he could be in your goal scorer #1 predictions, like as the top goal scorer in the competition.
He
But
could be.
since he isn't,
Yeah.
uh, any shout out to who could be the top scorer?
I mean, come on. As I said to you, and it was somewhat jokingly. Obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo is up against Belgium, and we'll know their fate moving forward. But I don't know if anyone's going to overtake Ronaldo's 5 goals so far.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, if you're talking about knockout stages, I think a guy like Griezmann has shown that he can pop up in the right place and score some important goals. And I think he's going to do it on that side of the bracket,
Okay.
kind of in spades. So I'm going to pick Griezmann for the knockout rounds, but I still think Cristiano Ronaldo is going to take the top goal scorer for the entire tournament.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna pick Cristiano Ronaldo because as a Portuguese person, I feel like he's gonna pass against Belgium, and I actually think we're gonna pass against Belgium. And I could be butchering. This comes out on the Wednesday, so I just wanted to say, like, Ronaldo is an extremely competitive person, and the fact that the #2 in the goal scoring list is playing against him, like Ronaldo will want to make a statement. He'll
Yeah.
at least, I think, he'll score a goal against Belgium. but 5 goals. Maybe he'll score one more against Belgium. 6. I have 2 interesting options. Benzema for
Okay.
France. I think he can get a brace and a goal here and there. He's
Sure.
already got 2 goals, and I was hopeful that Holland with Depay would make something happen because I think Depay has. I don't know if it's 2 or 3 goals too,
Yes.
but he could he. I was with expectations really high for Depay because Depay has the move now to Barcelona
Sure.
um, with Coman. So this is a request by Coman, clearly. Messi requested Aguero. Coman requested Depay. It's clear as day. We don't need to be Fabrizio Romano to say this one. It's quite obvious. And Depay, I think it's going to be one of his final Euros, I'd say, as the big star of the
Yeah.
team. And I was expecting a bit more. Wijnaldum is doing a
Right.
lot. Is doing a lot. Frankie De Jong, one of the best midfielders in the competition.
Yeah,
But,
he has been. He has
Depay,
been.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was in my top goal scorer. He was like number 3. So, Ronald, Benzema, and Depay.
Okay. Okay.
And
And
winner.
yeah, I mean, oh, we're going. You want to go assists?
Okay, let's go assists. Yeah.
All
So,
right. Well, who's yours first? Since
Kulusevski. I think
okay.
Sweden is going to have a good match against Ukraine. Okay, this is me betting on that.
Okay.
Or Højbjerg of Denmark.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think he could have a good match too against whoever wins this match,
Yep.
the Netherlands Czech Republic. I think he could get an assist or two. And my third option would be in, let's say, a miracle moment that Bruno Fernandes starts to perform for the Portuguese national team and gets like 4 assists. Like he could, if he's got André Silva and Cristiano Ronaldo there ahead. Come
Yeah.
on, just needs to cross it in. Someone will get a goal.
Yeah. Well,
Someone will. Italy. Okay, we're just talking about Donnarumma here. We need creativity. We need vision. We need some. If we pass against Belgium,
right.
so that's my Kulusevski. I pick
Okay.
Kulusevski.
All right. Well, I'm surprised. A little surprised you didn't say like a Gerard Moreno for
Mhm.
Spain, who actually I believe he's on 2 so
Mhm.
far. But I'm sorry. I'm a little befuddled here because I'm watching the Dutch exit this tournament. They're now down 2-0, and Schick. I think we have to alter our goal scoring list because Schick just scored again. So this my assists on this one, and I don't think you're going to like it. My number 1 pick was Højbjerg just because of set pieces and from how good he's been so far. But I got to go with KDB. Obviously, this this comes down to the fact that he has to make his way through Portugal first, and I think you're getting a little bit of a glimpse on who you think my finalist is going to be, and they were always my finalists, right?
Yeah, they
Except
were.
I did have Belgium going through in second, right? So they had
That's
a little
true.
bit of a different path. So KDB, I'm just not going to bet against him right now, and he's hungrier than hell. He's also competitive, except in a much more reserved manner compared to Cristiano Ronaldo, who I totally think would like 2-foot his own son in order to get the ball.
Oh.
I actually, I mean that. I mean that. As someone, I have 2 young kids, and I mean that in the most endearing fashion. He wants to teach his kids to toughen up, and I
It's
think he
true.
wants
It's true.
that competitive bone, and it can't hurt. And CR7 has it. De Bruyne has it too, and I'm looking at it and I'm saying this is Belgium's last chance to do something big. They either put up, shut up, and if someone's going to be there to be the architect, we all know who it's going to be, and he's coming off of 2 phenomenal performances. So
Okay.
let's see what happens.
So my finalist and my winner is going to
Yep.
be Portugal. Portugal ale, okay, like we say it here.
Yep.
And your finalist is Belgium. So one of us on Wednesday is gonna be the one getting the praise, and the other isn't. But I'm confident. I'm still confident. If we go bold in midfield with
Yeah.
Gnat, Palhinha, and Brun, Motinho, I have a feeling he's gonna play Moutinho, but
Well, you know,
and I warned people. I said
yeah.
Moutinho was gonna play ahead of Bruno in some matches. People were saying, "What? Moutinho? Moutinho doesn't even play." Nah, nah, nah." Yeah, right. Look.
But like you, I mean, one of your biggest issues with him early on, not
Mhm.
Moutinho, but Fernando Santos, early on was that he didn't do this. You know, he didn't substitute
Yeah.
early enough,
Yeah.
and obviously quality subs or the right subs. And hey, he got Paulinho in there early,
Mhm.
and he made his mark. And we got to give you credit because you've been calling for him the whole time. Although you have been calling for Nuno Mendes quite frequently, and it hasn't exactly worked out thanks
It
to that
will.
little injury.
It
But
will.
all
It
right, you're
will.
holding out. So you're fine.
I'm more confident about Nunes than I was about Paulinho.
Okay.
I'm not scared to say this. Paulinho is a quality CDM, which I'm
Yeah.
sure all the Premier League teams must be going crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
He fits perfectly in a lot of teams. But Nunes is a talent that you don't see around. Like it's not common. So I'm even more confident about Nunes than Paulinho.
Oh, we'll find out soon enough. So
So
who's your finalist? You've got Portugal in the final. You got Portugal winning. Who do you have
yes.
them beating?
Why not go England? Why not go England? Look, I'm hopeful against Germany. I know they need to
Yeah.
prepare the fullbacks. Okay, this is. I think they should play with 3 center backs against Germany. They should put Walker going against Kimmich and Gozens, in my opinion, because
Mm.
that's what I saw against Portugal is a very tough team to handle there.
Yeah.
So why not? Harry Kane showing up, scoring. Sancho, he knows the German team better than anyone. So come on, give him the minutes. And I did see some backlash, people saying Rashford is a left winger, Sancho is a right winger. I just said that I do agree that Rashford is better on the left,
Yeah.
but both of them are on the bench. And who I would pick first to come on is Sancho, not Rashford, guys. So
Yeah.
that I just wanted to put that clear. That's my pick. And yeah, the Euros. We need to save it for podcast episode 11. But
Well,
oh my gosh.
well, as you can tell, I had Belgium. Belgium going. Belgium is my finalist and my winner.
Mhm.
Okay. Which is actually a change from France.
Mhm.
And that I have no good reasons why. I have no
Mhm.
good reasons why right now. It's something I've been having to work through. I just think France is not as impenetrable as some people think they are. They were prone to
Yeah.
mistakes, but ultimately they came out on top. They're going to have Switzerland and Croatia, Spain. Whoever wins that, that's going to be a tough matchup for them.
Uh,
And it's just a matter of if they fire on from there. But I do like Belgium versus France. But Belgium, my finalist, I am going to go with Denmark. I'm dramatic pause. Is that what it is? Is there a dramatic pause here? I
My
mean,
face was like, what again, Bretson?
I just look at this, okay? Sweden, Ukraine, England, Germany. We obviously know that the other favorite within this setup here, right, is the winner of England, Germany. I think, I think that Germany can be beaten, just as they almost were by Hungary. I think there's a method to it, and again, I'm not the coach, I'm not a tactician, but when it comes down to it, we've seen it happen in the past with Greece winning, we've seen it happen in the past with Denmark winning, right?
Yeah, it's hard.
Um,
It's
it's been many
hard.
years since we've seen that type of a tournament, but I'm not picking Denmark to win. I'm picking them to
Imagine if
head to
England
the final.
loses to Denmark. Imagine if England loses to Denmark.
It sounds to me
The
like I'm just
English
trying to
people
be.
would go mad.
I know,
It
I know.
would be a madness in England.
Uh,
I like it. You went bold. I can say
I
that, guys.
I get it.
Bretson
I
went
get it.
bold.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, you want to see
Denmark in
that.
the
It's
final.
just there's ripe that section of the bracket is ripe for an upset.
Yeah.
And I'm just feeling it because England is not as airtight as some
They
people
need
want to.
Mount. They need
And
Mount. That's for sure.
yeah, they're gonna need some big. They need Harry Kane.
So
Yeah.
a lot of people were demanding us to switch up the international tournament and speak more about Copa America, which for sure it deserves it. I'm loving it. I'm loving Copa America. I know with the COVID rules they got it through,
Yeah.
and look, it's good games. Good games have been happening. Like Argentina, their defense is looking solid now with Cristian Romero
Yeah.
and
Guti.
Martinez in goal. Fantastic goalkeeper.
Yes.
Really good saves he's been doing up there.
Yeah. I agree.
So, what do you think about Copa America?
I mean, aside from the 160 COVID cases that have presented itself since the beginning of the tournament, yeah, it's always anytime you put them, every team in the CONMEBOL
Mm-hmm.
in like a cage match. It's always fun, and this is a little bit of a refreshing or a different take on it, where I guess only two. It's basically like a seating structure where you
Mm-hmm.
have two sets of five, top
Yes.
four goes through, and then they go one like March Madness style,
Yeah.
one versus four, one versus four. Sorry, I showed my American there. Um, but I do love the excitement behind it, and
Mm-hmm.
Brazil looks relatively unstoppable, and that's Neymar missing as many open chances as he has been making them. But ultimately, yeah, like there's a couple names that have really stood out to me, and
Mm-hmm.
Cuti Romero is definitely one. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
voted top defender in Serie A for a reason.
Yeah.
For a team that when you think about Atalanta, you don't think about Atalanta as a defensive team. You think about them as offense as defense, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Romero has been absolutely just phenomenal for Atalanta and has shown that he can do it for Argentina as
Yeah.
well. And that is important.
That is true.
If you want an Argentina to win their first international trophy in what, like 27, 28 years,
Mm-hmm.
you need a Cuti Romero and an Otamendi to do what they can do in the center of defense to somehow
Yeah.
stifle whether it's Brazil, whether it's some of these trickier teams like a Colombia in the knockouts.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be huge. So I didn't mean to spend that much time on it because
No.
one
No.
of the
No.
coolest narratives of this whole thing, and you probably might have been ready to talk about this, but Ben Brereton, you've heard
Mm.
about this guy, right?
Yeah. 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 I've heard about
Okay.
him. Yeah.
22-year-old striker. He debuted and scored for Chile. I think he added an assist like the game later. Chile hasn't been lighting things up, but they've also been pretty decent. But
Mm-hmm.
this is a kid that was playing for Blackburn Rovers, was in the English youth setup for a long period of time. Um, I don't know if anyone has actually gone in and read the story on how he was discovered, but Football Manager played a very central role to how it was discovered that he had a second nationality. And
Oh.
ultimately, the Chile Football Association reached out to him, Chilean Football
Yeah.
Association. He accepted, and here he is starring a kid from Stoke-on-Trent. Here he is starring for Chile alongside, obviously, like an Alexis Sanchez, and it's
Mm-hmm.
really cool. Really cool that that's happening.
I think they had a draw, Chile against was it Argentina? 1-1.
Yeah, he assisted the late goal, right?
That was a big draw, big draw. Like I was Argentina since then they've been looking fantastic, especially on the defensive.
Yep.
But that was a really good draw for Chile. About Brazil, eu vi. I watched Brazil play two matches, and I'd like to highlight Fred because Fred is playing really well for Brazil. He's performing really well. It's good to see that at Man United he had a couple of good games, but the bad games are very noticeable. But in the national team, he's very good. Casemiro too. I wanted to highlight Casemiro too. What a captain he is, because he stops the midfields by himself. Like that Real Madrid, he's very overlooked in my opinion. Like the legacy he has at Real Madrid with Kroos and Modric, that midfield is going to be iconic for years. And
Yeah.
it wouldn't be iconic without Casemiro. He came at a time coming from a loan at Porto, and seeing that development, and now watching Brazil play, and seeing how key he is fantastic.
Sure.
And another player is Eder Militao. Eder Militao, I knew he was a baller because here in Portugal he won like five Defenders of the Month awards, like consecutive, something ridiculous. I can't
Right.
remember at the time, but he was fast. He could anticipate really well. He's a good ball playing center back. He can play as a fullback too.
Yep.
He's got a lot of tools in his arsenal. So I'm really happy to see Éder Militão playing. Tiago Silva too. Éder Militão and Tiago Silva performing really well in Copa America.
Yeah,
That
and
Brazil team is good.
he's one that's still trying to really get settled at Madrid.
Yes.
I mean, and I think once he gets it,
Yeah.
or once Real Madrid gets it, he'll be a massive part of that. So, all right. Well, you're talking about all these guys that are
He needs to get a grip.
older. They're older, right? Except Militao, who is he's 23 or maybe just turned 24.
Mhm.
I do want to highlight a couple of young guys to watch out
Yes.
for the way forward, and they're not on the better teams, right? They're not on
Okay.
Brazil, not on Argentina. When you have the glut of talent that Brazil and Argentina has, there's a luxury to not having to bring along some 18-year-olds. But Ecuador, in particular, has produced two 19-year-olds, Moises Caicedo. I don't know if I'm saying that name right.
The City kid, right?
Yeah, well, actually, no, he's at Brighton. He'll be at
Okay.
Brighton. Yeah,
Oh,
he was
it's
back on.
it's the CDM, right?
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely,
yes.
and he's been pretty phenomenal. And he's one of those ones. If you watch the ascendancy of Busuma, okay, Busuma at Brighton, and I get it. Brighton doesn't exactly knock everybody's socks off, but Busuma is being looked at within the Premier League as a lot of replacements. Or some replacements in some of the bigger teams' midfields. And I think you've got a ready-made, if the transition works out correctly, a ready-made replacement in the form of this Caicedo kid who actually, I believe it was the U20 World Cup where he really came onto the scene and had just a phenomenal overall performance in the tournament. So you have him, and then on top of that, well, actually, to go back to Brighton, you've got him and Jacob Motor, which is one hell of a midfield for years to come at Brighton.
Good midfield, yeah.
It is a good midfield. But the other guy I want to talk about is a guy that has landed on the radar of Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, Newcastle. I had to throw Newcastle in there, but he's like 9 teams I think are looking for this kid because he's tall. He can win aerial battles. He also is a progressive passer. He's left-footed. Can actually very comfortable on the ball. Doesn't mind taking people on. But it's Piero Hincapié. And I think it might be Hincapié. But Ecuador has pretty much featured him at center back, and he has. They have a big game later today against Brazil. But he has been one of the best young defenders at the tournament, and definitely one if you're looking for somebody on Football Manager, I think you can probably do worse than him.
Well, about Moises Caicedo, like I only saw news about him going to United and it didn't go through. But I'm glad that he's going to a team in which he'll develop, and for sure he'll become a name that we'll all know, which is fantastic to see. Yeah. So you highlighted Ecuador. I'm gonna highlight a team too with youth talent, and I'm gonna go Uruguay. I think they're very overlooked. Valverde is one of the best box-to-box midfielders in the world. He is young, but he's extremely overlooked. That midfield that they have, Bentancur and Valverde, and I am extremely happy about a player that I didn't know a lot about. I knew a lot about Gabriel Menino as a right wing back for Palmeiras, but I didn't know about their left wing back. And I'm really happy I'm watching Uruguay play, and I found out about Matia Vinha. Fantastic left wing back. Can play as a left mid. I went to do my research, and a left back. But with Abel, which is a phenomenal coach. I was off the record. I was telling you, for me, Abel is one of the top 3 young Portuguese coaches. Okay, and he's put Matia Vinha as a left wing back, and he's performing so well. And now in the Copa America, he's showing signs of being an extremely good player against the big teams too. So Valverde, Ugarte too he's not there, but I'm at that those midfielders they have their building up. Darwin Nunes too. I'm liking what Uruguay is doing. It's long term. they might win a Copa America with these young guns improving. So
Yeah. Yeah, I
um,
agree, and that's not even adding to the fact. I think Facundo Torres in their last game got his first assist off the bench, and they do. They always have just a really nice stable of young talent. It's just whether or not they. I don't know. I mean, it's been almost 6 months since I've really heard of Maxi Gomez. And do you remember him? You remember him lighting up La Liga, right? And he's really taken a step back, and yet I believe
mhm.
he still played a substitute role in their last game. So just these players come in and they take over. Uruguay is always one to watch, and
Mhm.
they're fun to watch too. But it's still Cavani and Suarez's show, and whether or not they can get it done against Brazil, that right now I think has 9 goals for, 1 goal against in the whole
Mhm.
tournament, it's going to be interesting. And
I
also whether or not, I gotta say, it was 5 years ago yesterday, 5 years ago yesterday, that Leo Messi walked off the pitch after losing the
Yes.
Copa America Centenario final, and he said, "I retire." Right,
Yeah.
internationally, I retire. And here he is back. He wants it, and we'll see if.
He wants it because the rivalry that is building up and that is happening while we speak
Yep.
uh, is making him play in these international tournaments. Because I don't know, there was a man that became the most goal scorer in international games, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
I've never
Uh,
heard. I've never heard of it, Alex. I've never heard of it.
so you guys requested a bunch the GOAT talk. You're like, who's the GOAT? Who's the GOAT? Who's the GOAT? And I couldn't say Noon Mins anymore. I needed to justify myself. And so here you go, guys. You're gonna have the talk between Messi, Ronaldo. Would you like to start?
Yeah, man. I mean, you're talking on my hemisphere, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Leo Messi. It really
Mm-hmm.
is. It's always been. I grew up with the Barcelona teams. I know there's something to be said about Ronaldo and three separate doing it in three separate countries, winning championships and winning best player awards and all that good stuff. But the consistency of Leo Messi over the years and the amount of palpable goosebumpy moments, right, that he's given me as a fan of, and this is not to say Ronaldo doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just more relatable
Yeah.
for me. So it really, it doesn't almost come down to I have no qualifications whatsoever to say who's a better footballer. No,
Mm-hmm.
frankly, nobody does except maybe
Yep.
Pele. I have no clue. Uh, but I am, I'm not going to take the coward's way out and say we
Mm-hmm.
are privileged to be in a world where we can see a Cristiano and a Messi duke it out together. But I do have to say, if we take that Ronaldo is 2 years older,
Mm-hmm.
and we go back to where Ronaldo was at 34, right? Because Messi, I think, just turned 34.
Yes.
Um, Man, that makes me feel old. Anyway, you got to say from a actual statistical level, and there's so many ways you can put this.
Mm-hmm.
His statistics look better. But really, what it comes down to for me is relatability from the point of growing up with Leo Messi on my wall. Growing
Yeah.
up, it could be because he's a diminutive guy and I'm a small guy. It could be because there's so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the fact that it was goat versus goat. There's two goats here. Yeah, I know it's impossible to have, but
Well,
I know why. I know you've picked Ronaldo. Why? Tell me why when it
I
comes
just
down
wanted to say
versus
something about Messi. I fell in love with football because of Messi. Like my first wallpaper on a PC was a Lionel Messi wallpaper, Barcelona. Okay, because I fell in love in the way he touched the ball. Those iconic matches against Man United, those moments in which the young kid is delivering. He won the Ballon d'Or as a youngster, so that was maybe I'm here because of him. So I just wanted to say, like, Messi, thank you for what you've done. Like, you're one of the GOATs for sure. But
Yeah.
my choice is Cristiano Ronaldo. And I'm gonna say, if you'd spoken to me 5 years ago, I'd say Messi, blankly.
Yeah.
But the more I live, the more I appreciate Ronaldo. Because Ronaldo was, if you show tape to a 5-year-old kid, and you show the player, and you wouldn't say names, and you show the United clips, and then you'd show clips of Cristiano Ronaldo at Real Madrid, the kid wouldn't recognize. No, wouldn't recognize that they were the same player. Two completely different styles of play. Ronaldo had a big injury at Man United, a big injury on his leg. And he had to change his style of play completely because his agility wasn't the same. So he then thought, I need to become a machine, a goal-scoring machine. Because Ronaldo is a natural-born competitor. Yeah. And he wants to be the most everything in the world. And that's what I have to admire about Ronaldo. I think, look, I love Kobe. He's got the Mamba mentality. But I think Ronaldo he's got the Ronaldo mentality, man. He comes from Madeira, like the poverty. And I'm Portuguese, and I can tell he comes from the poor of, like, it's really like the rise to success is, you won't see it. Like, he's the most followed person on Instagram too, like even social media. He wants to win in everything. And for that, I am, as I grow up, I'm gonna go Ronaldo. I'm gonna go Ronaldo because he's gone to every league. He's become the top scorer in every team he's been, and I feel like he just wants to conquer the world, and he's done it.
And I have to agree there in that sense that, like, he's undergone multiple transformations, right? And he's, winning it with different clubs is amazing. And then you go back, and that's like where there's such different players, not just players on the field, but players off the field too. I wouldn't say he craves the limelight, right? But he invites it, right? He invites and we're talking about Ronaldo. He invites all the drama and all the speculation and all that craziness that goes around being a footballer, or the most followed footballer on Instagram, or I should say most followed person on Instagram, or one of them. But you also have to really enjoy the fact that Leo Messi has done so, except if you take into consideration his like tax payments case and all that fun stuff. He has done a lot of what he's done kind of under the radar, right? Not really under the radar, but you know what I mean. He is not a guy, he doesn't post pictures. They're very different people, is what I'm trying to say. I just hit the mic, so if anything.
No worries. Messi under the radar. I can say one thing that Messi does a lot.
Not under the radar. That's not the best way to.
Like, he talks so much crap during games. I don't know if you know about this, but this is like every player that plays against Messi says Messi talks so much when he's playing. He center backs hate him. He's always with Messi. It's like he's an expert. Ronaldo doesn't have time for that. Ronaldo just has time to confront, get it done. No,
well, I got one thing that has to be brought up here. They're very close on a goal scoring level, right? And arguably Messi, if he plays an extra 2 years and say Ronaldo retires, which I think there's that like 52-year-old guy that's still playing in the Japanese J League. I think that's going to be Ronaldo. But when it comes down to it, does Messi's 90 more assists count for anything from a statistical level?
It does, and there is another thing too that Messi has that's way above Ronaldo, and it's the Man of the Match awards. I think he's like 300, and he's like 150 ahead of Ronaldo. But Messi was a unique talent, and the style of play of Messi, he did change. He did get the free kicks in his arsenal late stages, because anyone that says that Messi doesn't train is lying. Messi trains a lot. He didn't have that free kick at the start of his career. Late stages, now he has, and he's the best free kick taker in the world, behind James Ward-Prowse maybe, but but he's definitely on top.
The English Messi.
So he's shown that he's improved skills in his arsenal. So I do respect that. I wanted to mention that too. But Ronaldo has the biggest changes. I have to say, Ronaldo undergone them. But you said statistically, who has the most goals in history in the Champions League?
Right.
Who has the most goals in international clubs?
I hear you.
National teams. Sorry.
I
Who
hear you.
has the most goals in history for Real Madrid, which is the
Yeah.
most iconic club in the world?
Who has more
Who?
Ballon d'Ors?
Yeah, but he
Ooh.
was stolen a Ballon d'Or. I'm sorry to say it. Like, he was
Yeah.
stolen a Ballon d'Or. That Ballon d'Or was clear as day for Ronaldo. He
I
left Real Madrid. I don't want to come here with an agenda, but that was very sketchy.
yeah.
Very sketchy. He leaves Real, no Ballon d'Or. And it goes to Modric, which he was fantastic. Really good in the World Cup. Fantastic, fantastic season. But come on. Modric
So
next to Ronaldo.
are
It's an
you starting
alien.
the conspiracy theory that Messi actually swung the
No,
vote
no.
because he's
Real
such?
Madrid. Real Madrid didn't
I'm
want
just
their
kidding.
star player to get the
Yeah.
Ballon d'Or and leaving.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that happened. If we see the power that Real Madrid have and with the Super League now, okay, I don't think the power of even putting Ballon d'Or, Modric. It's sad, and I think Ronaldo. It's an opinion too. Ronaldo, I think he was robbed. Simple,
Yeah.
and yes, okay, and I do give it to every Ballon d'Or that Messi got. He worked for it, and he deserves credit. But I told you, the more I live, and he's a better athlete too, because Messi, he underwent a lot to become Lionel Messi, like because of his growth, the hormones. He
Right.
needed a lot of financial help, and I
Yeah.
think that's why he hasn't left Barcelona. I'll never judge Lionel Messi not leaving Barcelona, because Barcelona helped fund the treatment that made Lionel Messi get the height to become Lionel Messi that we see right now. So I do think he appreciates that moment in his life which he needed help, which then helped him become the best player in the world. But Ronaldo spends millions in his body, okay? And I can tell you, if there's an athlete that can say, drink water, I can assure you it's Ronaldo. Because if Ronaldo says, drink water, I 100% guarantee you, Ronaldo won't say for you to do something that he doesn't do,
Yeah.
okay? He knows that he wants to pass a good message, and he should, to the
Oh
world.
no. Actually, I'm now remembering a Messi. I believe it was a Coke commercial. Wow.
Pepsi,
Wow.
Pepsi,
Oh, it was Pepsi. You're right. It was Pepsi.
Pepsi.
Yeah.
Lino,
Yeah,
and I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Coca-Cola had a talk with Ronaldo, because
okay.
the truth is, Pepsi sponsors, Pepsi sponsors Messi,
Yep.
so I'm sure because antagonists builds momentum and stories, Coca-Cola had a talk with Ronaldo, and yeah, doesn't seem like it went well. So the goat said drink water. So everybody at home, go drink
Uh, well,
water.
I'm going to end it on. I believe Messi is the more complete player. And
Complete.
I do. Yes, I believe he's the most complete player compared to Ronaldo.
Come on,
Absolutely.
look at the heading. Come on, Ronaldo's going to another airport. Maybe he can leave Lisbon and he can go to Madeira just with his jump.
Well, okay, so he's good at jumping. No, come on.
No, come on.
Now we're getting contentious. So what we need to do is let's go back. We'll go back to the center and we'll say these are two otherworldly players that it's highly unlikely we'll ever see again, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't even know you. What do you say? Holland and Mbappe over the next 10 years? No, I don't think so. But you don't know. And that's another podcast. So
Yeah, that's another
let's not
topic. Yeah.
go on that. But I mean, these guys have been so dominant, so
Mm-hmm.
consistent, so ridiculously impressive. In Ronaldo's case, obviously changing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So much, whether it's location or his body or whatever. Messi, I can't tell you how many goals I can run through in my head right now, just picturing
Mm-hmm.
them. The slalom run versus 7 defenders. I mean, he's done that multiple times. Just the amount of joy and highlights they've given us over the years. We just got to come back to that and say,
Yeah.
if there could be two goats,
And that's what's happening, Breton. What we started a conversation. I feel like it's worthy to end it. It's Messi's performing in Copa America, e Ronaldo tá performing in the Euros.
Yep.
So I think we're gonna have an ending to this story, hopefully. And yeah, let's keep on going.
Yeah, and I never want to have that conversation again. It's just too tough of a
I
conversation.
like it though. I like a bit of drama.
Well,
it's never bad.
we want to know what you think. Mine, actually both of ours is pretty personal, except you. Yeah, you grew up idolizing Messi as well, so
It's true.
interesting.
It's true.
But
It's
we
true, and
we
a
do
lot of
want to
people
hear.
here. A lot of
Yeah, we
people here.
we do want to hear. Please, in the comment section, let us know who you'd pick and why. I
100%.
mean, you can't boil it down to one sentence. But it's always good to think about. And Alex was the one that challenged me with that because I told him outright I really didn't want to have this conversation because it's too damn hard.
It's the demand.
And it's good to talk about it as long as you have respect for both players, and I do absolutely. Yeah. So, all right, let's go on to something that we don't need to have respect for, and that's the transfer market, right?
Yeah,
and it's heating up. It's heating up.
I want to say, if you guys say, you go bold with Nunminch. No. Who's going bold right now is Guardiola.
Yeah.
Guardiola is going bold by getting Grealish for 100 million.
Yeah.
And Harry Kane.
Yeah,
that is going bold.
It's like, what's the talk show where they just give Oprah Winfrey, you get 100 million. You get 100 million. except you get Grealish and you get Harry Kane in return. So that's pretty good. But
they need the left back. I'll just say that. But
yeah. So you could probably get Nuno for what? What did you say? Like 20 million, maybe?
No,
25?
impossible. He for 20 million, impossible to get Nunminch, Breton. He'd be the least. I'm here thinking 40 million with another arrangement to get more money. 40 the least. And 40 least in my opinion. Yeah. But we could talk about fullbacks here because I wanted to mention this, the transfer talk. I feel like something huge happened and it's going to change the football spectrum in my opinion, and that is PSG are focusing on the left backs finally.
Yeah.
They're getting Hakimi, and I have to say, Neymar, you have no excuses. No excuses. By PSG getting maybe Donnarumma, the best goalkeeper in the world right now in terms of form, in my opinion, okay, in the Euros, and 22 years old, and Hakimi. If Mbappe were to leave, Neymar, you can't complain still, okay? Big players are coming. And Wijnaldum, fantastic midfielder, okay? Really had a good Euros. In my opinion, he had a couple of good games, and exciting team to watch now.
Very exciting team to watch, that's for sure. I just don't know, addressing the whole goalkeeper thing. I don't understand it. Yeah, you're getting probably the best of the best, but it's just they addressed the fullback position, and they will continue to do so, and that's a big deal if your goal is literally only the Champions League, even though you did lose League One championship last year to Lille. So Mbappe, Neymar, I mean they've got a team that they got to be pretty happy with moving forward. No longer potentially will you see a Mitchell Bakker. Nothing against him. Or I'm forgetting the other guy's name. Help me out.
They have Bernard too. Bernard.
Oh, right. Yeah. So there's no excuse there. But another team that's very close to getting exactly what they want or have wanted for seemingly the longest transfer saga ever, according to Fabrizio Romano. Jadon Sancho is as close as he's ever been. We've heard this before, I think, but he's as close as he's ever been to joining Manchester United. And wow, if Woodward goes out, if he goes out and he gets Jadon Sancho, and we know I think he's targeting Raphael Varane, right?
I saw a lot of news on Twitter for Camavinga.
And Camavinga, yes.
I don't know if you saw that. And credible sources. It wasn't like
right.
It's credible sources that are mentioning that the board of United are meeting the representatives of Camavinga.
Yeah.
And that is a deal that is expecting a Pogba leaving, in my opinion. If Camavinga comes in, Pogba must leave. Must leave. I don't honestly, I think I don't want to say it's obvious, but Pogba even leaving gives time for Donny van de Beek finally having the game time that he's desperately wanting, okay? And Camavinga, he's gonna be 50 or 60 if he comes, and I don't know if United should should pull the trigger. I'd focus on the center back. You were right there with Varane. I
Yeah,
think they should get Sancho, focus on the center back, and then on a CDM.
yeah,
If they get Declan Rice, I'm very like Sumare. Leicester got Pastendak and Sumare,
yeah,
elite business. So if United were to get a CDM that good value for the money,
yeah.
Locatelli,
I mean,
Locatelli.
that's. Would you look at Kamavinga as much as an amazing future he has?
Mm,
I do think that probably leaving Ren makes sense for him, but
it does.
Heading to a
I
United, I don't think it's the best way to go for him.
I'd pick Locatelli ahead of Camavinga right now, like
I,
for United,
I
and
would too.
he's
He's
cheaper.
definitely going. He's
Yeah,
going. I think he's going to Juventus. And
yeah,
I said it right that time. I got to catch myself.
you did.
Sorry, Jays are very important I have no clue what I'm saying. I know it's
you
not
were right there. You were
Juventus.
right there. You said Juventus was gonna snatch up Locatelli, and they, with Italian talents, like I'm actually shocked that Donnarumma isn't heading to Juventus. I really thought he was going to Juventus. Like so,
It's I don't know. I don't know the
but
answer,
the
but there's
Sancho deal, it needs to happen, right? It's I'm sick of seeing this Fabrizio speculation. Like, and do I think that long term we're gonna look back and think, well, they didn't get Sancho straight away. They got Amad Diallo. They
yeah,
they had they had they didn't pull the trigger, but they still invested a bit. And maybe now having Amad coming off the bench with Sanch,
mhm.
that could be an extremely good duo. And I'd like to see next season. This is me already having a season preview, kind of. But Mason Greenwood, having that Cavani knowledge that I repeat, I think they have a fantastic relationship, Cavani and Greenwood. We may see finally the trio up front, that you Man United fans are sick of saying. Rashford on the left, get a Harry Kane, and have Sancho. If that happens now with Cavani up front instead of Harry Kane, look
Yeah.
guys, let's see it. Let's see it.
You changed your
Okay.
voice there for United supporters. I didn't know there was a particular United. Yeah, just
I just
I'm just
wanted
kidding.
people to notice, like, this is not me talking.
Right, right,
It's
right.
me talking though, but like,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that yeah. I mean, there's a lot that has to happen, and obviously you can imagine after the Euros, things are going to get real interesting real
mm,
soon, or we're going to all be disappointed again. But another thing, in terms of big name moves like what we're
mm-hmm,
talking about. But yes, yeah, put up, shut up, or get this transfer saga over with and get Sancho in if that's really what needs to happen. Although I still believe, and I'll stick
mm-hmm.
by it until the day that we get that picture of him signing the dotted line. Although I know there is one circulating that people are saying,
I
"Oh, is
saw
it
that
real or
too,
is it
right?
not real?" Yeah, yeah. Until he's fully announced, I stick by Sancho, Holland sticking around one more year, which is probably a losing bet.
That's
Um,
very difficult. That's
it
very
is. It
difficult.
is very
Even
difficult.
Holland, like, I don't think. I said if I think Holland were to move, it would be Chelsea, but it's looking like he'll stay.
Yeah.
But
Well, Sancho's
it's
leaving. He has to stay, right? I mean, he has to. I think. I don't.
that'd be two big blows. That'd be two big blows, especially now with RB Leipzig getting stronger.
Yeah.
They have to be careful in that sense. But who do you think Arsenal's getting though? I did see Ben White. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen, right?
What, 50 million,
Um,
50 million pounds for a
50,
that's what I saw. 40
50.
million, 50? Yeah. I think it was a big chunk of change.
Arsenal are desperate. Come on, 50 millions for Ben White. 50 million for Ben White.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure people will verify for me, but I'm pretty sure that's the number I saw. And I like Ben White, but I don't like him that
Let
much.
me
So
let me just say this: Upamecano went to Bayern Munich for 35 million.
yeah.
Arsenal are getting Ben White for 50.
Well, was that a release clause or no? Maybe it
It
wasn't.
was a release clause, but
Okay.
still,
So
still,
yeah, you
still.
gotta stick like an inflation adjuster on those clauses. But I guess that's why you put them in there.
We're here
Um,
sick of recommending Sven Botman. He'd be
yeah,
what? Half the price?
he would be. He would be. I mean, he might be. definitely a whole lot more than the 8 million I believe Lille paid for him from Ajax. So that's
Oh, that's tough
yeah.
to. I didn't know it was 50 million, Breton. I'm
Yeah,
really
well, we'll check.
surprised.
We'll check when we get off. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. The other one I just had to
Oh.
bring up before we move on is I am very happy. I know some Chelsea fans would have rather seen him in the 11,
Mm,
but if this happens, and it may have actually already been announced, I don't know. But Billy Gilmore is probably heading out on loan, and from what I've heard, is
okay.
Norwich City is likely going to be where he heads.
I
Um,
saw Rangers. I
you
thought
saw
Ranger.
Rangers?
Yeah.
Yeah, going back home for a while. I get that.
But
Get.
Norwich would skip, right? Would it be with Skip?
I don't know if it would be with Skip, but it would be very Skip-like, right, in terms of that move. But I actually, now that you bring up Rangers, I really do like the idea of Stevie G with Billy
Yeah.
Gilmore for a
It's.
year.
But
Uh,
Norwich would be a good move. It would be. I think I'd like to see that happening. Todd Cantwell, Adam Ida too. I saw some clips about him. He's a
yeah.
good talent there at Norwich, and yeah, something could be building up. I didn't know. I didn't see
Well,
that.
well, who? Oh man, they just signed a winger uh, that
Don't know.
really impressed me. That Norwich actually went out there and it almost kind of screamed to me as if it was like Rafinha to Leeds like type of move. Um, so
Well,
I don't know
don't worry
who it is,
about
but
it.
I think Norwich is definitely going to be trying to stick around in the Premier League, and I think if Billy Gilmore goes there, he's going to play
And
a
they
central
Norwich
role.
thinks things through. You know, they kept the manager even though they got relegated. So I don't think Norwich is coming to the Prem without a plan. So that's exciting to see. So Brendan, we got 1 minute. I
Oh,
wanted to thank everyone. Okay, every single person that comments our videos, comments on TikTok. You guys are legends. Look, I am so happy. Like, this is one of the best stages in my life. I'll be honest. Your support is changing my life, and thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Oh, well, those were
You
really
know,
nice words, Alex.
I
Those are nice.
meant them. I meant
Yeah,
them. I'm
I know you
serious
do.
here. Like,
I know you. I mean, you and I talk about this often. Neither of us expected this in any way, shape, or form, and you and I just like to talk
yeah,
about this. And we love to talk to you guys more on a regular basis. And we're going to find out whether we
yeah.
can display things better, talk more, whatever. We're going to find different ways to reach
We're
out
gonna
to you guys.
improve
But
for
yeah,
sure. This is
we
only
will.
the start, guys. FC Wonderkid. Okay, so
Absolutely.
here's episode 10. I hope you enjoyed it. Like the video, subscribe, and peace out.
So long.